going to have theta to be 62.5 degrees. This is the angle between the velocity vector and the acceleration vector. Welcome to question number 3 on our list of questions for classical physics test 1, physics 311. A flat moves in a path given by the equation r of t equals to 3t squared r plus sine of pi t j minus cos of pi t k. A. Determine the particle speed at time t equals 1.0 seconds. Now, this is the position of the particle. R of t is the position of the particle, and the particle is moving in 3 dimensions: x, y, and z, or r, j, and k direction, respectively. So, to find the particle speed at time t equals 0, we must find the particle's velocity and find the magnitude of that velocity, which gives us the speed. So, r prime of t is the velocity of the particle, v of t, and that is, it will differentiate 3t squared. So I will differentiate each of them in each of the directions, r, j, and k. The derivative of 3t squared is 6t, and this is in the r direction. The derivative of sine pi t is pi, because I will differentiate pi t. That's pi, so plus pi, and the derivative of sine is cosine of the same pi t in the j. The derivative of negative cos pi t is positive. The derivative of pi t is pi, and the derivative of cosine is negative sine. So that will get positive from negative times negative is positive, and is sine of pi t in the k direction. Now, this is the velocity of the particle at time t, at any time t. So let's find the particle's velocity at time t equal to 1 second. So v of 1 is equal to 6 times 1 in the r direction plus pi cos of pi times 1 in the j direction plus pi sine of pi times 1 in the k direction. So v of 1 is equal to 6 times 1 is 6, so this is 6r. Pi times 1 is pi, so it's plus pi cos pi plus pi sine of pi times 1 is pi. But remember, this is in the j direction, and this is pi in the k direction. What is cos of pi? So we say note that cos of pi is negative 1, and sine of pi is 0. Therefore, the velocity of the particle at time t equals to 1 will be 6r plus, this is pi times negative 1 j plus pi times 0 k. Sine of pi is 0. So v of 1 will be equal to 6r. This minus pi j. This cancels out. It's just 0. So this is actually the velocity of the particle. To find the speed of the particle, we must find the magnitude of this velocity. So the speed of the particle is equal to the magnitude of the velocity. So the speed is equal to the magnitude of this is the square root of 6 squared plus negative pi squared. So the speed s is equal to the square root of 36 plus pi squared. This is the speed of the particle. Let's quickly look at the second part of the question. What is the angle between the velocity and acceleration vector at time t equals to 1.0? This is the velocity function. If we find the derivative of the velocity function, we have the acceleration function. So we know that v of t is 6t in the r direction plus pi cos of pi t in the j direction plus pi sine of pi t in the k direction. So the derivative of v of t is a of t, and it's equals to, what's the derivative of 6t? That's 6, so it's 6r. What's the derivative of cos pi t? That's negative pi squared sine of pi t. This is in the j direction. We already have a pi here. So this pi times this pi is pi squared. And then the derivative of this is positive pi squared cos of pi t in k direction. This is the acceleration at any time t. So let's find the acceleration at t equals to 1. So a of 1 is equals to this 6r minus pi squared sine of pi times 1 j plus pi squared cos of pi times 1 k. Good. So we know that sine of pi times 1 is pi, sine of pi is 0, so this goes to 0, and cos of pi is negative 1. So our result will be 6r, this is minus pi squared k. This is the acceleration vector at time t equals to 1. So we are going to find the angle between these two vectors, this and this. So the angle theta between any two vectors is given by cos of theta is equals to, in this case, we are finding the angle between v of 1 and a of 1. So it's v of 1 dotted with a of 1 all divided by the magnitude of v of 1, the magnitude of a of 1. So cos of theta is equals to, take the two vectors and dot them. This is 6. So rj, j is negative pi, and there is no k, there is no value in the k direction. So k is 0. Dotted with the acceleration vector is 6.
There is no value in the j direction, so the j component is 0.
And the k is negative pi squared. All divided by the square root of, if we find the magnitude of v of 1, we get 36 plus pi squared times the square root of. We find the magnitude of this, we have 36 plus, if we square negative pi squared, we have pi to the 4th. So cos of theta will be equals to, let's find the dot product. 6 times 6 is 36, and then negative pi times 0, and then 0 times negative pi squared. All divided by the square root of 36 plus pi squared times the square root of 36 plus pi to the 4th. So cos of theta will be equals to, this is 0, this is 0, so this just gives you 36, all divided by the square root of 36 plus pi squared times the square root of 36 plus pi to the 4th. Now if you take 3.14 for pi and substitute that in here and simplify, you have cos of theta to be 0.460. Now if you have that, you can take the inverse on both sides. Cos inverse of 0.460, you are going to have theta to be 62.5 degrees. This is the angle between the velocity vector and the acceleration vector at time t equals to 0. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in our next video.